Hello. As you might see, I'm recording this at 6:15 on a Friday in Hatfield, so you might hear a lot of noise. I live right in the center of Hatfield, so you might hear a lot of noise. But nonetheless, this is just to assist you in your revision, right, and guide you in your revision, so that you may be able to focus on the right things. But remember that this can't be your sole means of preparing for the semester test. You need to go and do the apply it exercises that are on ClickUp. Those would help you. Just do one of each module, and that will be quite good for you to prepare, as well as the mock test. Okay, so without wasting too much time, these videos are split into creating a PowerPoint and adding stuff to PowerPoint, and then the second video will be modifying the stuff that you put in PowerPoint so that it looks good, so that it presents well. So first things first, when you're creating your PowerPoint, you're obviously going to um, add a theme or apply a theme so that it matches the style that you want, or it matches your company colors. So to apply a theme, you're going to go to your design tab. On the design tab, you can choose the theme that you would like. So you can click on the drop down as well to see more themes, and then you'd find whatever theme. So I'm going with this one, for example. And for that theme, you have variants of the theme. So in the variants group, you could click on the drop down and you could choose the maybe the colors of that theme that you might want to go with. All right, so maybe you want to go with the red orange, all right, color theme, and you'll see that some of the stuff has changed too, a reddish color. And also on this design tab, you can format your background. So if you click on that, you get this pane, and this pane is what you can use to change your background if you wanted. So you could change it to a solid fill, change the color maybe to something that's brighter, maybe this red here, and you could even apply this to all, or you could reset the background, right? So that's how you work with this design tab. You'll see there's more things on the design tab that you can work with. Okay. Next, you might want to work with text that's in placeholders, right? So for example, here we have a title placeholder, right? Obviously, there's already a title that was put in there. By the way, this template that I'm using is from PowerPoint themselves, right? So um, and if at any point I do say Excel instead of PowerPoint, remember we have 12 modules of Excel and 3 modules of PowerPoint and 3 modules of Word. So Excel kind of gets ingrained in my head. I keep saying Excel, Excel, Excel. I just mean PowerPoint if it's in this video, obviously. So yeah, just apologies for that. But anyways, you'll find that this is a template from PowerPoint, so it's not a template of my own, as well as the other templates of things that we're going to add on here, all from PowerPoint, right? But hopefully it helps you. Okay, and I will share it with you so that you can also try to do some of these things on your own. So we have this text placeholder, right? And this is a title placeholder. Remember, there's many types of text placeholders. We'll see some of them as we go along. So in this title placeholder, if you click in it, you're able to modify the text. All right, so in this case, I could want to change it to AIM 121 PPT revision. Right, so that's something that I could do. And then remember, if I'm modifying the text itself, I'm not modifying the whole shape. And usually if you want to center, if you want to change the size, you want to do it to the whole shape as opposed to just the text that's already there. In case you add more text, and when you add more text, you want it to have the same formatting as the text that's already existing. So what you do is you want to select the whole shape, and you'll see when you select the whole shape, as opposed to being a dotted line like it is here, I don't think you'll be able to see it quite clearly. It'll become a solid line when you click on the border, or when you press escape on your keyboard, it makes it a solid line to show that the whole shape is selected. All right, so that's a really bad spelling of revision there. Anyways, all right, so when the whole shape is selected, then you can go to your shape format tab, for example, and do whatever you want to do, like rotating it, shape fill, changing the size, changing the shape, and all of that. You can do this all here. Text effects, right? For example, you want to make it the 3D rotation and all those things. You want to make it word art, you also do it here to make it word art, right? So there's all that stuff that you can do to the placeholder, right? This also applies to text boxes. Remember, text boxes, you insert the text box yourself, all right? So that's how it would work with the text that's already existing. And then let's add some more slides. And the most common way of adding more slides is to reuse slides from another deck, right? Because maybe you're working with someone else and you want to reuse slides that they have created. So to reuse slides, you go to your home tab, and it's adding a new slide. So you click on the drop down for new slide, and then you click on reuse slides. Okay, or you can go to the insert tab, click on the drop down, and click on reuse slides. Okay, I always stress that you need to know how to reuse slides, because if it was a test situation and you cannot reuse slides, it means that you won't have all the slides that you need to complete the test, and it means you won't get all the marks that you need to get in the test, right? So you need to be able to reuse slides. Never forget how to reuse slides. So I could browse for the slides that I'm looking for and find the support file where these slides could be. So in my case, they're in my Google Drive, and in my drive, semester that, and then PowerPoint revision. There's my support file. I click on open, and you see it gives me suggestions of all the slides that I could add, right? So what we'll do is we'll add the first one, the second one, the third one, and the last one. All right, and you'll see if I had the first slide selected, it adds them after the first slide. If I had this last slide selected, it would add them after that last slide, right? So in my case, I made a mistake there. Let's just delete these slides and add them after this slide. So I click on it, right? After the last slide, I click on the last slide, then I click the first one, second one, third one, and then the last one here. So now these are all my new slides. Then I can close this once I'm done, right? So you'll see that since I'm done, I can now work on those slides. Alright, so one thing that I might want to do to all of these slides is add a footer, for example. So to add a footer, remember it's in your insert tab, text group, header and footer, and you can see you can add a date, you could add a footer, you could add a slide number, and these all get added to the footer. Alright, and if you don't want this to show on the title slide, you tick this to not show on the title slide. Alright, the title slide is usually the first slide. So also if you don't want it to show on the first slide, then you tick that, right? Then you click on apply to all. It'll show on all slides except the first slide. All right, so that's where you do your headers and footers. I hope you can see where that is now, and you can do your slide number, your dates, and your footer. So in the footer, you could type in some text, maybe your name. All right, and then apply to all. Okay, so you'll see that these slides are a bit dark, right? So you can't necessarily see it, but there we go. There's the name. This one, it's not really there, and this one is not really there, right? It's on the slides that are based off our current theme, right? So on these ones you won't really see it because they came um from a different PowerPoint, right? But that's okay, that's fine as long as you know how to do it. Okay, there we go. So that's how we'd add our footer. And how could we add shapes, right? So maybe on this one here I could want to add a shape, so I go to my insert tab, and shapes are part of my illustrations, and then there's all the options of shapes that I could add. So maybe a rectangle. Remember, click first and then resize later. Right, so as opposed to drawing the shape, just click and then resize it later. Remember, you can do all the things that you've done with shapes before in Excel, the things that you've done with shapes in Word. You could also type in these shapes. So you click in the shape and you start typing. It also works. Okay, so that's how we work with a shape, right? And there's more things that I'll show you about working with shapes in the second video. And then how would I add maybe something like a picture, right? So let's say on this one here, maybe I remove this one, right? And then just don't worry about the text that's there. I want to insert an image, so maybe I insert on the insert tab, images, pictures. If it's on your device, which it is usually in your tests, then you use this device. In my case, I don't have a picture for you, so I'll use stock images, and I'll find an image from the images that PowerPoint is giving me. Alright, so remember, like I said, I'm just going to use stuff that PowerPoint provides in this whole video as opposed to creating anything of my own. Alright, I think that's easier. So I like this picture, I choose it, and I insert it. Alright, so then remember, once it's inserted, you'll be able to do certain modifications to that picture, crop it, or resize it and so forth. But we'll do that in the second video, right? So right now I just want to show you where you can insert everything, where you can add everything, and then we'll talk about and maybe modifying text and things like that. Then we'll talk about making our PowerPoint look nice in the second video. So in this case, inside this slide, you can see I have a bunch of text, right? And this time I have a list. So remember, with lists, there is, for example, if I select this list item, I could indented. So on the home tab, paragraph group, I could increase the indent level, all right, which increases the list level. So if I click on that, you'll see it now becomes a second level list item. Okay, so let's close the designer. All right, so it's a second level list item, which means it's like a sub bullet for this first bullet, right? So that's how you would make that a second level. If I wanted to delete one of these bullets, just click on the bullet itself, then on your keyboard press delete or press backspace, right? And that deletes that bullet. You could also turn this bullet into a this bullet list into a smart art graphic. So you select the whole placeholder. Remember, this is like a text placeholder or this is a content placeholder. So you select the whole placeholder, clicking either on the border or pressing escape on your keyboard, and then you go to the paragraph group and you can say convert to smart art. So there we can convert it to some sort of smart art, maybe this, right? And you see there, that's how you'd convert a bullet list to a smart art. We'll talk about modifying smart arts later, but there's not much there to talk about. All right. And then if you wanted to add videos, remember insert tab. Again, there's the media group. You could add videos, audios. You could even do a screen recording. I used to do the videos that I used to send you last semester. I used to use screen recording in PowerPoint, but now I just use the Windows screen recording. I think it works quite well. So screen recording is quite interesting from PowerPoint, right? So from PowerPoint. So it's also a tool that's quite nice. But anyways, if you added a video, you'd add your video here from the device. Obviously, is the usual way, and then you can modify that video once you've added it. All right, and in the next video I'll show you how we can modify videos. Okay, and when you have a content placeholder, and I'll just add a new slide after this first slide, and I'll make it a title and content, right? When you have a content placeholder, remember you can click on any of these options to insert something, right? It can be a chart, it can be a table, it can be a smart art graphic, it can be an icon, it can be a picture, it can be a stock image, all right? So you could use all of that, or you could even type text, all right? And remember, you could also add a title and so forth, all right? So that's also stuff that you need to be aware of. Yes, so in terms of adding things to Excel, I think that's most of it, right? And in the next video, I'll show you how you can modify those things that you would have added to PowerPoint. I think I said Excel the last time, but yes, I mean PowerPoint. Right, so I hope this helps. And in the next video, we'll talk about modifying these things, and it'll just be a quick little video talking about modifying pictures, charts, doing animations to certain things, and modifying our videos, tables, and a bit of the slide master, transitions to our slides, and yeah, that's what will be in the next video. Thank you for listening. Cheers.